Hello, welcome back. Mike from Canavan Wealth. It is Thursday, July 6th. Time for Mike Reads the Journal. With the 4th of July holiday, I was out of the office, but I wanted to cover the markets as well as a couple of really good articles that came out. So today, down dramatically 1.3. That's effectively the first article, but even since 5 days ago, we're of a percent, and over the last month we're still killing it up 2.8. This was kind of that slide after the major market upturn. Year to date, still doing really well, punching in around 14.3. I think that said, yeah. So still doing really well. What's going on with the markets? I'll put myself over here. At this point, this is kind of the tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Uh, as news comes out, right? So the Fed minutes that came out that said, nope, they were actually serious about possibly raising rates more this year, as well as employment data still looks really good, which is right back into this world of good news is bad news, and that causes bond yields to climb. Don't care about that, and stock markets turns down if yields go up in this crazy world where good economic data makes us think that they're going to continue to raise interest rates, continue to battle inflation, which I think is still a relatively realistic fear. I don't think there's some concern that inflation is not going to be relatively sticky. I don't think inflation is going to go back down to where they expect it to. But if we get to edge inflation down to 3% or something, core inflation over the next 12 months, I honestly think that's probably the best thing for the markets. Maybe interest rates come down a couple of percentages over the next 12 to 24 months. And we live in what used to be a pretty ideal world of like 3% inflation, maybe a 3 to 4% kind of Fed funds rate. That's not the world we've lived in for the last 14 years, but it doesn't mean it's a non-ideal world. So I'm not really too worried about this. I think most of this will reverse over the coming weeks. Also this is on top of just an amazing market rally over the last month and a half. So this is a lot of consolidation, I think, as well. All right, next article. This is the one that I really want to talk about because this is an excellent article. It'll be linked below. This is about kind of initial causes of inflation and then what this journalist thinks is going to be the cause of future inflation. So a lot of people have blamed kind of corporate greed on recent inflation. This article kind of goes to say, like many of the things I've talked about on the channel lately, that it's a lot more complicated than just companies trying to make more money. Specifically, it's tough for companies to just raise their prices and increase profit margin if the supply chain is intact and their competitors can outcompete them in terms of supply, right? If you make doodads and you raise your prices 10% and your competitor does not do that, then they can typically take market share from you. And that's the big concern about raising prices. But in a world where the supply chain is all screwed up, if you raise your prices, your competitor cannot necessarily outcompete you on supply, meaning they can't sell enough doodads to steal market share from you. You're all just kind of selling whatever you can make. You can make these kind of price increases stick. And that's what businesses do. They try and make money. But that is changing as the supply chain kind of sorts itself out. And then the last part of this article, which is really the best part of it, talks about how that is being replaced by increases in wages and the cost of employment, right? Which it really just goes through. So this is quarterly change in cost per unit of corporate value added. That was, I don't remember reading about that. But whereas, yes, wages and salary rose 49.3% of corporate value added. So we're banking that off of wages. But this is an excellent read to go through and see kind of the changes in wages versus profits and how profit margins have come back down, largely been eaten away by increases in wages. Of course, those increases in wages are offset by inflation, and it'll take us a while to figure out where that's going to go. All right, last article. like, this is the craziest thing to happen in a long time, this Russian thing, and it just seems to never end. And I don't want to go all conspiracy theory because that's just not me, but I have a hard time believing this is over. So the Belarusian President Lukashenko has effectively said that Prigozhin, the leader of the Wagner group, is not in Belarus anymore. There's like social media posts that he's in St. Petersburg. No one seems to publicly know where he is. I find it hard to believe that Belarus does not know where he was. They know that he left the country. How does he leave the country? You don't know where he goes. Um, he's got some protest scheduled for Saturday and is calling on his Telegram followers right here to join the gathering in St. Petersburg, where they'll be handing out T-shirts and stickers. You know, Moscow, the Kremlin's trying to pretend like this, like who cares where he is, right? This is over. But it's just very odd that someone attempts what I think most people understand was possibly going to be a military coup. He goes to the neighboring country of your puppet government, then you lose track of where he is. You're trying to there's videos and Russia's trying to effectively absorb Wagner into themselves, into the Russian military, but he's trying to support it. This is showing, they don't have it here, but there was another article this weekend where, there's like tents being set up in Belarus. They're trying to figure out like how many of the soldiers have gone to Belarus to be stationed there. This is bizarre. This is far from over. Whatever is going on here, I think the rest of the world, including themselves, are just guessing as to what is actually happening and when this is going to be over. Now, who knows? Maybe he gets arrested or something, or flees Belarus. But I think as long as he's in the area, there's no way that people do not perceive him as a threat. So we'll just have to see. All right, that is it for Mike Reed's Journal Standard Disclosures. If you like the video, please do like and subscribe. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you.